appreciate your being here this afternoon. Always good to be back with the brethren here at Green Bay. I echo Brother Herbert, and I commended Jim over at 2nd Street a little while ago, and I'll do that again. I certainly appreciate his ability and readiness to take my place when the need arises, and I know you're in good hands because I know he preached the truth. And I appreciate that very much. But I appreciate being back. Brother O'Mara, we had a good meeting, I think, and so if you can support that, I know they'd be appreciative of that. And certainly we pray for the success of that effort. We tonight continue talking about David's mighty men. And if you remember, we have reached the fourth of the five that we set out to discuss. And we're in the 2nd Samuel, the 23rd chapter. And in verses 18 and 19, we meet the man Abishai. And Abishai, the brother of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief among three. And he lifted up his spear against 300 and slew them, and had the name among three. Was he not most honorable of three? Therefore he was their captain. Howbeit he attained not unto the first three. The passage before us states three different times about his status. It says chief among the three. Then it says had the name among the three. And then we're told he was the most honorable of three. However, the statement appears to qualify all of them, and it says, howbeit he attained not unto the first three. Of all the things he did, as honorable as he was, as high as he was, as chief as he was, he did not attain to the status of the other three that we have discussed earlier. I asked you a week or so ago, perhaps last Sunday, and I think about it. And I asked you again, who preached on Pentecost as recorded in the book of Acts for us in Acts chapter 2? Who was it that preached to Cornelius as recorded for us in the book of Acts? Who was it wrote the epistles of 1st and 2nd Peter? Well, you would probably all answer in unison, it was Peter. Peter was the one who did that. Yet if I ask you who led him to the Lord, it might require more thought to answer that particular question. We looked at just last Sunday morning that it was Andrew who led Peter to the Lord. Andrew was as never well known as was his brother. He does not get the written record as does his brother. We don't know what all happened in the life of Andrew, but we do know that Andrew led his brother to the Lord. I believe it is the case that we have a sense, a warped, I should say, sense of the word great in our society. It would do a lot of people a tremendous amount of good if they could rethink their view of the concept of greatness. And dear friends, when you really wrap your hand around greatness, it has to envelop this. We are here to render service. We are not here to receive service. There are far too many that want to receive service and have no inclination whatsoever about rendering service. That's not what greatness is. Too many in our society, right here in America, want to sit back in their beds of ease and be fed like well-fed heifers and receive service, and they have no idea, no desire to render any type of service. I tell my children pretty often, you can ask them, I don't want you two to act like a bunch of well-fed heifers. And that's a biblical precept. Render service. Greatness is not recognition. Greatness is humble service. I'm turning in my Bible to the 20th chapter of Matthew. What about those who serve? What about those who serve and do so without any type of recognition? Look here at verse 26 of the 20th chapter. But it shall not be so among you, but whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many. Jesus said, if you want to be great, if you want people to look around you and see greatness, if you want the throne of God to look down and see greatness, the way to accomplish that is by doing what? By serving. And if there's any shortage in our world today and in our church today, it is servants. When Queen Wilhelmina came to the throne in Sweden many years ago, she went out on the balcony of the palace and she looked down at the courtyard and she saw so many people down there just crayon-packed to see her. And she turned to her queen mother and she asked, are all these people here for me? And the wise mother responded, no, my dear, you are here for all these people. You see, that's the concept that so many people are missing in our society tonight. That's the concept that many in the church are missing tonight. People are not here for us, we're here for people. We're here to be servants. And so we need to be seeking greatness, but how do we seek greatness? Through service. It seems like there is a recurring theme with these mighty men, and I hope by now you're beginning to catch on. It seems like with every mighty man discussed thus far, I have had opportunity to stress again the need to find something to do. You see, what we need more than committees in the church, you know, some churches, congregations, they have a committee for this, and a committee for that, and a committee for that, and just to be safe, we'll have a committee that oversees the committees. What we need besides commitment, committees, what we need is commitment. Individual commitment. Instead of finding someone to visit, or to find someone to help, or to find someone to do whatever to, we ought to have already found it by now. Now, in this same chapter of Matthew, in this same book of Matthew, in chapter 25, I read these verses a little bit this evening, but I'll begin in verse 31 this time. Matthew 25:31 beginning. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left, and we don't want to be a goat. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you for the foundation of the world. Now listen. For I was an hungered, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, you came unto me. Now catch this. Then shall the righteous answer him, say, Lord, when saw we thee a hungry, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? Lord, we don't recall ever having that opportunity to help you in those matters. When saw we thee in that condition? When saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Now let's pause there. Now go back up to verse 37 with your eyes. Then shall the who? Righteous. Then shall the righteous answer him. Do you see here, friends, that the righteous had gotten beyond the point of noticing what they were doing for the cause of Christ? Did you catch that? These people who were righteous, they have got beyond the point of even noticing and realizing what all they are doing to help promote the cause of Christ. They were helping people, they were clothing people, they were visiting people, they were feeding people, and didn't even realize what they were doing. Now, do you think the righteous here are servants or not? It's nice to see people who render service and don't even realize what they're doing. It just comes as a natural response. They have trained themselves in that manner, and they're busy promoting the cause of Christ and don't even realize what they're doing to promote the cause of Christ. When saw we thee like that? Oh, when you did it to the very least, you were doing it to me. Man, that's servants. We don't have to have our name greatest among the three. The greatest among the 300 or the 3,000 or the 3 million. All we got to be is a servant. And when we become servants, the Lord promised us we'll be great. If you want to be great, just be a servant. Verse 40. And the king shall answer, say to them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. Why, Lord? For I was a hungered, you gave me no meat. I was thirsty, you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, you took me not in. Naked, you clothed me not. Sick, in prison, you visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, say, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Lord, you just showed me one time when I saw you like that and didn't help you. Can I ask you a question? Do you think if these people could have actually laid their eyes upon the Lord and he was hungry, do you think they would have fed him? Then shall he answer them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me. You had all kind of opportunity to help people. You had opportunity to be great. You had opportunity to be servants. And then these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous in the life eternal. See, we could put sheep and goats. We could put righteous and unrighteous. And we could put servants and those what? Who refuse to be a servant. Do you you think it takes recognition for a person to be a servant? Dear friend, if it takes recognition for a person to be a servant, there is something awful wrong with that person. I wonder how many things get done for the cause of Christ, to help promote the cause of Christ, by people in this congregation on a weekly basis that most of us know nothing about. How many servants do we have who don't have to get up and tell what all they've done in service of the Lord? They just do what needs to be done. And that's being a servant. Abishai, he might have not have been chief among the three mentioned prior, but I'm going to tell you something. He's a faithful servant. We may not be the greatest. Don't have to be the greatest. I'm thankful, Jim, I never was called to be the greatest preacher in Alabama, or in Red Bay, or Franklin County, whatever you want to go. I never been called to do that. Never called me the greatest song leader, the greatest leader of prayer, the greatest Bible class teacher, the greatest whatever. I just been called upon to do what I can. It's called upon to serve. And dear friend, if you want to be right with God and be faithful and live prepared and be among the righteous, you're going to have to be a servant. And I hope that all of us are wise enough that we can open our eyes and see what needs to be done. Can you see what needs to be done? Now, you might think, well, he's talking about physical. There's some physical things need to be done. Tried to cover some of that yesterday and Friday as well. I'm really not talking about the physical. I'm not talking about signs and sidewalks and grass and shrubs and rusty metal. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the stuff that really promotes Christ in this community. Can you do that? Can you live this week and do something to promote the cause of Christ? Could you call somebody and check on them who is hurting? Could you check on somebody who is absent in the Lord's services of the church? Could you invite somebody to come worship with you? Could you give somebody a tract? Could you pray for somebody by name? Let me ask you something. How many of you take that bulletin that we print week after week, that prayer list? How many of you take that prayer list and pray for those people? Now be honest. And why in the world do we waste the preacher's time? Because I could preach 5 or 6 more minutes. You've heard what announced all the sick. Why does Herbert announce all the sick? Why do we go through that? What is the purpose of that? Friend, we announce them where you can pray for them. Ain't that right? He gets up here, whoever, Jeremy, Kenny, whoever, and they say, look at the prayer list, and then look at these special people we've been given this name, and this person in the hospital, and that person's sick, and that person has a kidney stone, and this person's lost a family member. What are we supposed to do is say, well, that's good. Why do we do that? Can you help those people? Can you stop and say a prayer for those people? God, help those people who are hurting and suffering and sick. Help those who are suffering with the sting of death. Man, if you do that, you'll be on your way to being great. You start being a servant. Now, I ain't talking about any manual physical labor, have I? Again, here it is, the fourth mighty man, and I'm not talking about getting in this pulpit and preaching. I'm not talking about going to Bible class and teaching Bible classes. I've not thought about standing up and leading a public prayer. I don't think there's anything I've mentioned in these 4 weeks of these 90 men that none of us can't do. If there's a person in this audience who can't do it, I'm going to tell you something. You are a special person. And God help you. We just got to have a desire to be servants. And it seems to me, one of the things that wanes as people's zeal begins to wane is way. You know, we come up from the water grave and we're on fire for God, and when our zeal begins to wane, so does our desire to be a true servant. We want to sit back and be served. You know, don't you know people like that? I know people in every congregation, they want all kind of things to be done. They don't care to tell you what needs to be done, what they like to see be done, so forth and so on. But when time comes to it, I looked up, they ain't nowhere to be found. And we got some here that way, fits that condition, if you want to know. You going to be a servant? Or are you going to be served? See, I told them a while ago, Jim, I don't want to be a goat, I want to be a sheep. What I really want to be also is a mighty man. I want to be a mighty man of God. I don't have to lift weights, not run a marathon. All I got to do is be a servant. Help people I come in contact with. My friend, there's one thing I can do. No matter my condition, I can pray for people. I hope you pray for people. I hope that everyone assembled here has a desire to be great. And that is to be a servant. The church needs more and more and more people who simply want to be served. Not lay back on some bed of ease, bed of ivory, but to be servants. Not serve, but to be servants. God help us to become those servants of His. Wouldn't it be great to get so used to doing what needs to be done that we don't even realize what it is we're doing? When saw we hungry? When saw we be sick in prison? We didn't know that. Oh yeah, you did. You helped me when you helped those other people. Isn't that great? Well, I hope you've been benefited by this little quick study this evening. And next Sunday evening, we finish the fifth mighty man. Benaiah is his name. But I hope this little series of lessons has helped you understand what a mighty man is. And here we are again with the same basic definition. Somebody who takes a stand, somebody who's a servant, who does what needs to be done for the cause of Christ and righteousness. That's mighty people. We can all be mighty people. If you're outside of Christ this evening, I want you to come home. Get inside of Christ. You have to be baptized to do that. Everything prepared to help you do exactly that. If you repent of your sins, confess faith in Jesus, we'll help you be immersed in water. And if you've done that, you realize along the journey of life that you've lost your zeal. You've lost your desire to be a servant. Friend, make that right with God, whatever it takes this evening. If it's private, do it private. If it's public, do it publicly. Let's leave here with that strong desire to be mighty men of God, and all it takes is to be a great servant. Promote and help the cause of Christ. That's our mission upon this earth as Christians. Can we assist you so that this is all God will have to take this up?